Hey folks, welcome to the Leeds Gamer. It's match preview time. It's felt like a little while since I did one of these. Before we get into the video, do please do all the good stuff, the subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Do please like and like the video, and also please hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. This is being done after Leeds United assistant manager Eddie Reamer did the short press conference. Daniel Farkas poorly, but should be fit and available to be in the dugout for the game, according to Eddie. So, the opposition is Tottenham Hotspur. If they still had Tudor or even Frank in charge, I think that Leeds would be going into this game very, very confident. However, De Zerbi's come in and he's had one loss, one draw and 2 wins, albeit the 2 wins are a little tainted for different reasons. One of them being that one of them was against Wolves, who were dreadful, and the other one was against Aston Villa's first / second 11, if you like. It was a weakened 11, and aside from it being a weakened 11, they just didn't turn up. They were rubbish, and I'm disgusted with Aston Villa for doing that, and I hope that Freiburg absolutely destroyed them in the final of the Europa League now, just to prove that fielding a weakened team was a massive mistake. So, as far as the Tottenham lineup's concerned, now, as most of you will know, any of you that's been watching these match previews will know that I've been doing the opposition lineups based on the players that have played the most for the club for the season. However, with De Zerbi having only come in for 4 matches, I had a look at the lineups that he put out. So the first 11s that he's put out for the 4 games that he's been in charge of. And taking that into account, along with the list of unavailable players, which includes Xavi Simons, Wilson Odobert, Mohamed Kudus, Dejan Kulusevski, Christian Romero, Guglielmo Vicario, Dominic Solanke and Ben Davies, I have put together this particular lineup. And I can tell you how many games these players have actually featured for De Zerbi so far, or at least started. So, Kinski in goal has played all 4 games. Porro at right back has also played all 4 games. Udogie at left back has played 3 of the 4 games. Van de Ven has played all 4. Danso has played 3 of them. Bissouma has played 2. Bentancur has played 3. Gallagher has played all 4. Kolomuani has played all 4. Tell has only played 1, but he's got to play on the basis of the unavailability of some of the others. And Richarlison has played 2. So on the basis of the absence of Simons and Solanke, it basically forces a couple of changes there, which would be Richarlison and Tell. There are possibly 1 or 2 other options in the squad, but I'm just basing it on what De Zerbi has done up to now. Other players that have featured for De Zerbi this season in terms of the starting 11, you have got Romero, who's injured, so he ain't going to feature. You've got Jed Spence, he could come in at left back. You've got Archie Gray, who did play the first game, but hasn't started one since. You've got João Palhinha, who played the most recent game. You've got Bergvall, who started the first game but hasn't featured since. Simmons is out injured and Solanke's out injured. So, to me, I would predict that this is going to be the 11. But again, he could go with the lesser experienced Gray and Bergvall if he wanted. But it looks like he's kind of dismissed that. He has gone for more experience where possible, by the looks of things. There or thereabouts. And unfortunately, he has improved one or two things with this Tottenham team. The biggest thing being effort and desire to actually try and get a result. And with the lack of effort that the team was putting in the previous games before De Zerbi came in, I've always said that effort is half the battle won. The rest then comes down to quality and organisation and all that kind of thing. So, that is my predicted 11 for Tottenham Hotspur. As far as Leeds are concerned, as per usual, Ilimelia and Alex Cairns will miss out. It's not looking good on the injury front. Gabby Gudmundsson's still unavailable. He's been crucial to Leeds. Ilya Gruev, when we've needed to play more defensively, has done very well. He's still out. And Noah Okafor, who's been in fantastic form recently, he's also out. So this is really bad news. There is a slight doubt over Pascal Strout, but they are hopeful that Strout will be available. The possible changes that they could use if Strout is also unavailable is that you could see either Ethan Ampadu drop back into centre back with him being like a left-footed or left-sided centre back, or you could put Sebastian Bornau in there, but then you've got kind of an overload of right-footed centre backs, and then the other option would be to put James Justin in there and bring Sam Byram in at full-back, which I very much doubt, just because Sam hasn't hardly played. Those are seemingly the options there. Obviously, if Ethan drops back into defence, then you've got the likes of Sean Longstaff, who would then come into central midfield. So that's kind of the possible remedy of losing Pascal Strout. I hope to God we don't lose Pascal as well. We need our best players fit and available. Tottenham Hotspur will be licking their bloody lips when they see that Leeds' left side is decimated with the unavailability of Gabby Gudmundsson and Noah Okafor, because those two are shit hot, to put it mildly. So it will be a very different left side that Leeds potentially put out. So on the bench, Lucas Perry has been backup goalkeeper in the Premier League for the last 17 games now or something, isn't it? And the 11 and the bench put together kind of speaks for itself in a sense that there are no other available senior players. So the bench would look, after Lucas, would look like Sam Byram as the backup fullback or wingback, Seb Bornau, the backup centre-back, Sean Longstaff, backup midfielder. You've got two wingers on there in Dan James and Wilfred Nonto. You've got the backup ACM in Facundo Buonanotte, and then you've got two strikers in Lucas Mecha and Joel Perreault, giving us a starting 11 of Carl Darlow in goal, right wing back Jaden Bogle, left wing back would be James Justin, coming in for the unavailable Gabby Gudmundsson. We do lose that dynamism up the wing, but he's certainly on a par with Gabby in terms of his defensive capability. Centre-back trio of Joe Rodon, Jakob Biol and Pascal Strout. Then you've got a midfield of Ethan Ampadu, Anton Stack and now Tanaka, with Brendan Aronson coming back into the 11, supporting Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. Other changes that you could make with this lineup, you could keep Brendan on the bench and go with Lucas Mecha up front, so you've got a proper front two. Lucas Mecha would probably be played on the left-hand side with the view of him cutting inside and, providing that kind of attacking outlet that he's attempted to do. But I don't think that Lucas Mecha can do what Noah Okafor does in terms of being capable of playing like a left-sided player as opposed to a central striker or even a second striker. So for me, if you're going to play Lucas Mecha, you play him in a front two with DCL, which I would love to see. When I look at this Tottenham lineup, and I try and think to myself as to what I would be looking to do, even though the lineup comes across a little bit like a 4-3-3, De Zerbi's actually been playing 4-2-3-1. Now, Richarlison is more of a second striker, really. He's maybe a little bit like Pirro in a sense. He's not quite a 10 as such, but he's not like a full-on 9 either. Tell and Kolomuani are both capable of kind of being wingers or inside forwards. You've got Gallagher that can play as an attacking midfielder, and then you've got Bissouma and Bentancur who are more well known for being more defensive. So with that, you want to have a strong midfield, and I think with Ampadu, Stack and Tanaka you get that. I think we've got a strong enough midfield to battle with theirs. In terms of the threats up front, I mean, again, you've got Aronson and Tell that are probably the most comparable. DCL and Richarlison, I mean, DCL's far better aerially. They're probably on a par in terms of, converting chances. And then defensively, you're looking at Danso and Van der Ven. Danso's got an error in him. Van der Ven can be very capable of being sent off. Porro and Udogie will have to be watched, I think. So, we're going to have to be a bit careful with that. So Jadon Bogle and James Justin are going to have to do their work coming back to support the back three there, because I think they will try and get Porro and Udogie to support the front bunch. But I think they can be got at. But it's going to totally depend on how Leeds approach this game. I think we've got to go with attacking intent, play brave. Kind of think back to the game against Scum. We came at Scum with intensity, with an attacking intent. We were brave. We were closing down, high pressing. We were doing all that good stuff. I want to see the same kind of effort from Leeds United in this match. Leeds are capable of winning this one. The away record's still poor, but Tottenham's home record ain't that great either. Even despite the recent upturn in fortune over the last, call it 2 or 3 games. Tottenham are still riddled with injuries. Take advantage of that. You would have to assume that a fit Kulusevski, Kudus and Simons would all be in this lineup. As bad as he is, even Vicario would probably be ahead of Kinski. Kinski's a relatively young goalkeeper, so let's test him. He was shaky as hell, managed by Tudor. Now, obviously, De Zerbi's a different manager, but let's test him. He's not that experienced yet. So yeah, that's how I would approach the game if I was Leeds United manager. However, I am not Leeds United manager. I don't know if I'd want that pressure. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leeds win. I think it's realistic. I think it's doable. We've got to watch the players that have been improving under De Zerbi. But again, despite their results, are they really that much better? Or is it just an increase in effort, which should be the base main anyway? That's what we'll find out. I don't think there'll be a lack of effort from Leeds. We've always shown effort this season. Only 1 or 2 games where we maybe looked a bit tired. I wouldn't say it was a lack of effort, but we've looked tired. We shouldn't be tired in this circumstance. We're going from a Friday game to a Monday game, literally 10 days later. So there shouldn't be a tiredness issue here. So I just hope to God we get the win. Because I really want to see Spurs go down. Simple as. So, yeah, with all that being said, big thank you for watching. Do please do all that good stuff that I mentioned earlier. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please like the video. It really does help and I really do appreciate it. But in the meantime, let's cross fingers. Up for 3 points. Let's try and send Spurs down to the Championship. And let's stay on track for reaching, at least 50 points for the season. Yeah, that's it from me, folks. In the meantime, have a good one. See you next time. Bye for now.